Representative Delozier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary, over here.
Thank you.
We're moving around down here. Sorry about that. I know a couple questions have been asked about the lease back. I have some issues on authority, so I just wanted to get a couple questions out to you. This agreement was with DGS, the Commonwealth, and the municipal real estate, which from all intents and purposes, what I can tell, that was kind of developed simply for this deal. They hadn't been in existence prior to that for the January 30, $200 million. The governor has made a number of proposals, and it seems that when he doesn't get it passed through the legislature, he just does it on his own, even though the legislative process is supposed to be a part of it. Yesterday we heard from Department of Corrections. They didn't get probation and parole in the corrections merger, so he just did it on his own. This seems to be kind of the same scenario in the sense that he proposed it. It didn't get passed through 253 by majority in the legislature, and so he's doing it on his own. I guess Health and Human Services will be next, since he proposed that this year if it doesn't go through. But
Representative, that's not correct.
What's not correct?
It was not proposed as part of the last budget.
What was not proposed?
The lease back. There was ample discussion of it. There were hearings on it.
Right. So we had conversation about the fact of doing it. He did not get the votes in order to have it happen here in the legislature, correct?
It was never the position of the administration that the General Assembly was required to be a party to the deal.
Oh, so the General Assembly has no oversight of budget. Is that the thought of what the governor thought?
No, it's quite clear that the Commonwealth, that DGS, the Office of the Budget, the governor has ample authority to enter into contracts.
Yes, but you're dealing with the farm show. So my question with authority comes into play with this particular entity. I mean, I've been around government a long time with governor's office, lieutenant governor's banking, office of administration. I've never seen a contract like this. Has there ever been one done like this before?
This is the first of its kind.
That's what I thought. Okay, so the ability for, since it's the farm show that we're talking about, even though it seems that the farm show's not really involved, my question comes to the fact that my understanding, and Secretary Redding was here and said that agriculture hasn't been involved in this contract whatsoever. They're not a signatory. Looking at the signatures that are on it, my understanding with the farm show, and I asked one of the board members, the Farm Show Commission exists in statute, and their jurisdiction is the oversight of the farm show. Why are they not involved with this contract?
Historically, it's my understanding is the commission has never been involved in capital projects associated with the farm show or other decisions that have been made historically related to the facility itself. The commission, as I understand it, has been predominantly focused on the farm show event.
Well, I would think if you're going to put the farm show in Hawk, that they would have something to do with the fact that you're using them as the reason for the loan, correct?
I don't believe we've put the farm show in Hawk.
Well,
there is
you're taking a mortgage out on $200 million. You're getting $200 million for the farm show. Correct?
There is no security interest in the farm show conveyed as a
right, which might be more of an issue than. Okay, and the other one that I saw that was not on this contract was the Commission's public grounds and buildings. My understanding in statute that they are responsible for all assets and for executive agencies, but yet they're not a part of this. Wouldn't they normally be part of a contract like this? With DGS, I mean.
Our determination with council was that this transaction did not constitute a lease that would have been required to go through the Board of Commissioners of Public Grounds and Buildings.
Is there okay? What is the definition of ones that do not go through that entity then?
I'd be happy to get for you the
I didn't know there was a differentiation. So there's some that do and some that don't?
That's correct.
Okay, and you're not clear on which ones don't? That's the information you can get us?
I'd be pleased to.
Okay, I appreciate that. One of the questions that we also had deals with a lot of the whereases that are in the contract, talk about a lot of the stipulations where you have the authority to go in and make contracts and everything else. When this particular contract went into place and everything else, one of the questions that in reading it, I was a little just kind of confused as to the fact that $200 million in cash is going into the general fund, correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so all 200 million is going in. And the ability for us to turn that around, and that money would be used for DGS, or was it going to other entities?
The $200 million is deposited in the general fund and be used to provide sufficient funding to pay DGS's operational expenses, agricultural extension services payments, state food purchase program costs, and other agricultural operation costs in fiscal year 17-18.
Oh, okay. So that's something we'll just have to follow up on, mainly because the Ag Secretary didn't believe that any of the dollars were coming back to agriculture. So we just have a conflict there. I just need to figure out exactly where those dollars are going and what they're actually paying for, so we know which line items they're going to help in the budget in and of itself for 17-18. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I appreciate it. I just have a lot of, I guess, concerns as to the fact that, A, this is a first of its kind of contract, and I'm just a little nervous that, you know, the governor seems to be kind of going out on his own when he doesn't seem to get what he wants from the legislature, and checks and balances are there for a reason, and I think that many of them have been skipped recently. So thank you very much.